So of course we started with the attorney-only model. 2 attorneys, 2 clients, sitting down together and reasoning together, going through a process of interest-based negotiations, which I will explain a little later. But after a while, these attorneys felt, we could use some help. And so the next model was what I call the attorney referral model. If the parties needed assistance in financial matters, in financial planning or analyzing some aspects of their estates, they would bring in a financial person, a CPA or an appraiser. They would maybe call in someone who knew child development issues to give them some advice about, what would help for this particular child and to assist the family. Meanwhile, in California, inspired by what had happened in learning from Stuart Webb, Pauline Tesler and her group developed the model that is called collaborative divorce. And it's a very sophisticated, multidisciplinary model in which there are 2 attorneys, one representing each client, 2 mental health professionals, who they call coaches, who each work with, and it's usually gender specific. Usually a female will work with the woman and a male work with the man, but not always. But their job is to coach these people in effective communication and to handle the emotional issues that come up. They're not doing therapy. That's not what they're doing. But they are assisting them in making it through the process. And then the other members of that collaborative divorce team are a financial professional who's a neutral, who is there to assist in coming up with spreadsheets and developing financial options and looking at the tax ramifications of divisions and so on. And then there's a child specialist. That's a lot of people at the table, but that person brought with them the knowledge about child development and was able to maybe meet with the children, speak with them, and bring the, almost as an ombudsman for the children. When we first learned about this, this process in Texas, we learned about the attorney-only model. It was a very conscious decision on the part of a man named John McShane, who had heard Pauline Tesler speak at a meeting of holistic lawyers in Ireland. And John said, I love this, I want to bring it to Texas, but if I bring in those mental health professionals, our Texas lawyers are meat eaters. They'll think it's touchy-feely and they won't touch it. So the first training we had was Pauline Tesler and Stu Webb coming to Dallas to train the first group in Texas, and we were all trained in the attorney-only model. Many of us got very interested in the process, and several of us joined the International Academy of Collaborative Professionals. And we kept hearing about collaborative divorce and this model that was multidisciplinary. Now, any family lawyer who's been doing family law for a long time will tell you that we wear several hats when we're lawyers. We give, we assist clients with putting together financial records. We advise them, you really shouldn't be doing that. It's not good for your children. You can't be a family lawyer and just talk about law. But we were basically practicing outside of our fields. When you do collaborative law, you think, I really wish I knew more about how to do this or that, because it is such a different approach. It's not what we learned in law school. So, after a while, those of us who had been to the International Academy meetings came back and said, boy, there's this interdisciplinary model. Very interesting. So we brought some trainers to come teach us about collaborative divorce. And they came and we listened and we thought, gee, that's really interesting. Sounds very expensive. There's a lot of people in the room, but we all sort of tucked it in the back of our minds. Fortunately, that first training was open to the other disciplines. So we had invited some mental health professionals and some financial professionals. And fortuitously, Linda Solomon sat at the same table with Kevin Fuller. And Kevin thought, gee, this woman really is interesting, and I think she'd really help on this collaborative case I have where this couple really needs help. So he brought Linda in to sort of help out. And then there were other cases when attorneys were saying, let's bring in a financial professional. And over time, Texas developed what we call the team model. And the Texas team model now is being used in quite a few other states. And in fact, our Texas trainers are being invited all over the country and all over the world to introduce our model. Our model is 2 allied professionals, that's the attorneys, each of whom represents their clients, and 2 neutrals, a neutral mental health professional and a neutral financial professional. We have found that model works well for us. The role of the mental health professional in our model is different from the role of the mental health professional in the collaborative divorce model, in that they are neutral. They are not there to assist one of the parties or the other, but rather assist both of them in learning how to effectively communicate with each other, and they sit in on all of the meetings. So our typical meetings are 6 ways, which with the attorneys and their clients and the neutrals present from day one. And quite a bit is done what we call offline, which is outside of the joint sessions with the parties and the neutrals. We feel that this can keep costs down because the attorneys charge a much higher hourly rate than the other professionals, but also there's a lot of work that can be done outside of the joint sessions and then brought back to the joint sessions to work together. So that's another model. I've just heard about a model that is, I think was developed in Los Angeles, that involves a mediator from day one working, I'm not sure whether it's in a 4-way or a 7-way or an 8-way or whatever it is. I'm just learning about it. But what's exciting to me about collaborative law is if you take the original conception, resolving these people's disputes in a non-adversarial way, and then bringing in whoever will assist the parties in doing that, the creativity that is available to the professionals and especially to the attorneys, what would work best for this couple, what configuration will bring them the assistance they need. It's very exciting. It's very, very challenging, but I think it offers a lot to the clients that they would never get in the litigation system.